Hey, Dexter Longak here. Get a little story time because I'm trying to see if I can make some of these next videos a bit more. Well, I'm not gonna say higher quality. All my videos are in higher quality. You know, it's all you just gotta think that way. So right now we're doing a story time called "Abandoned by Disney." I'm gonna draw a couple of frames. It's some very funny frames I had drawn before as like a concept in the past. So we're gonna use them now. And I can't find the transcript, so I'm just gonna send you these two funny website links. Uh, but yeah, a little disclaimer before the video starts. I did not read this through, and I barely remember some of it. I just remember the good parts. All right, so here we go. Story starts in three, two, one. All right, so here's the story. So, so in this story, we have this interesting guy. He likes to write. He's a writer. You know, he's basically a main character to a Stephen King novel, and he's just here doing he likes Disney. Something I don't like. Okay, but that's not the most important part. The most important part is that he likes Disney. He likes Disneyland. He liked a place called Treasure Island. I think it's called Treasure Island, or maybe I'm thinking about another thing. But it's a Disney place that was abandoned by Disney. Oh wow, that's pretty interesting. It's a place abandoned by Disney. And this guy was very interested and wanted to report, see like what happened to that freaking abandoned place that was abandoned by Disney. Hey, so here we go. So, bling, bong, bong, bong. So here's what happens. So the guy goes to the Disney place and he's like, "Oh wow, it's very dark. Why did I go at night? I think maybe it was nighttime, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe the sky got darker, or the cloud force field was clouding." And in there, he's getting some really creepy vibes. You know, everything was abandoned. You got creepy things, creepy crawl, creepy things because they look like it's like baby stuff, but it's like when time passes the baby stuff and it gets old and ages over time, it's like wow, it's a very creepy baby stuff because it's just creepy. Like it doesn't last long. It ages just like a horrible piece of milk, you know. And so he's just exploring buildings, going out, and here's where it gets spooky. He enters this one building, abandoned by animatronics. Is the chapter we put on here. And what happens is he goes in here. He sees some more creepy stuff, and he sees the creepy mascots. These mascots, you got all the famous people. You got the Mickey Mouses, you got the Minnie Mouse, you got the Donald Ducks, you got the Goofy, you got his son, you got the freaking fat dog, you got the Pluto, the non-planet dog. You got all this Disney stuff, but it's got to be classic. It can't be any like new things like Encanto with like Bruno or whoever. So it's like very creepy because 1950s are very horrifying when you look back on it. And you know, here's where it gets really worse because there's a sign. I think it's either saying abandoned by Disney, and this will come into play later. So I hope you got your notebooks out and you're writing this down in your notebooks. But what happens next is this creepy Mickey Mouse mascot costume. But the problem is that this mascot costume it looks like it looks like it's the photo like you run it through the photo like that like that you run it let's say you have an old iPad from the early 2010s and you have that one face app where you can mess with your face so you can get that and you use that one filter that like makes all the like colors different. That's basically what that Mickey Mouse is, and it's I like to call it from a different thing. We're gonna call it photo negative Mickey. And so photo negative Mickey's just standing there, lying on the floor or something. And earlier, I forgot to mention the part where the guy was taking pictures. And so when he tried to take a picture of this Mickey Mouse, it was distorting the camera. It was breaking it. It was very scary. And he was able to get one snapshot, and it was a very creepy. Ooh, it was still photo negative. It was insane, and it probably looked different. And the photo negative Mickey, the evil Mickey, goes up, rises from the rise because it shouldn't do that because it's not even animatronic. Plot twist made by me and my own stupidity. It was a freaking mascot costume. It's scary. It's ominous. Everything is dark. I'm crapping my pants. The bed is wet. It smells terrible. It smells like urine and freaking dick cheese, and oh, it's horrible. But then the unspeakable happens. Mickey goes, talks. It shouldn't be able to talk. I don't know if it was demonic, but oh, it talked, and this is what it said. Hey, you want to see my head come off? Huh? And this was very terrifying because he said in a very terrifying voice just like that. And then Mickey takes his head, he pulls it out from the socket where the head is usually with the neck meat. And the creepy part is that this got this thick yellow blood. I don't know if it was gushy or it was just gunky. It was not natural. It wasn't flowing down like a river waterfall. It was just like disgusting cheese. Like old cheese. And as that's going on, the creepiness factor intensifies. Maybe there's violins, nail scratching, ooh, nail biting, oh, nails, oh, wow. And so the guy couldn't take it anymore. Well, I mean, pause, but I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, he's just being creepy and probably being loud. And then, yeah, just the guy leaves, but when he turns back, instead of saying abandoned by Disney, it says abandoned by God. Oh my gosh, that is horrifying. I give this story 10 bags of popcorn out of 5 sign edit signs from the Creepypasta wiki. So right there's a story, unedited, don't need to edit, because, that's just got to keep it raw, do your own research. And I must say, this is probably one of the creepiest creepypastas ever, and it's probably like the best one, because it led to one of the greatest fan games in history, besides another greatest fan games in history. But I'm telling you, this is pretty cool, because it's a photo negative Mickey costume, and freaking, it's got different colors, and it freaking has yellow blood, and it was a little funny. You want to see my hair come off? But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to it and skipping to the best part because I have lots of patience. But I mean, there's not. I don't know what else to say. So we'll leave it off to some teasers for the next videos. Cause, okay, here's you know what? Let me. I'll scratch that. I'm editing right. I'm not gonna edit this part, but this is basically the outro. So I appreciate anyone for watching and for listening to this very poorly told story. So in the outro, I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna leave into some FNAF fan games. I'm not really gonna over edit them. I'm gonna do a similar style. I'm gonna tease you. I got 2 FNAF fan games, maybe more, but the first one I'm gonna do is gonna be related to this video. It's just gonna be the Treasure Island game, 5 Nights at Treasure Islands. And people can say whatever they want, but in reality, it's probably one of the greatest FNAF fan series in history. And I'm not talking about the new games that are very posh. I'm talking about the old games, and they're freaking. They seem very amateur. That's the raw stuff. That's the rawness. I'm talking. This is what we got to do. This is what this channel is all about. If I talk about other games or other pieces of media, they have to be tier, like the highest quality of freaking content, and it's not just to me and myself and my own opinions. It's just a fact. But I'm telling you, get ready. Because I'm about to talk about the greatest fan games in history. And nothing else can beat them, Stay tuned for that, everybody.